Have you ever put your finger on the glass of a fish tank and the fish followed it? You moved left, the fish moved left. You moved right, the fish moved right. You stopped, the fish stopped too. And you thought, why is it doing that? Is it playing with me? Does it recognize me? Or is something else happening inside that small, quiet mind? This is one of the most beautiful mysteries of fish behavior, and today we are going to explore it together, slowly, calmly, and in a way that will make you see your fish in a completely new light. Because fish are not just pets that swim around. They feel things, they notice things, and they remember things too. Most people think fish are simple. They think a fish has no feelings, no memory, no thoughts, just a small creature swimming in circles all day. But that is not true. That is so far from the truth. Fish are actually very aware of their world, every shadow, every movement, every small change around them. They notice all of it. Their brain is always working, always watching, always processing what is happening around them. And when your finger appears on that glass, their brain lights up, something inside them wakes up, and they start to follow. But why? Let us start from the very beginning. Fish live in water, and water is a very different world from ours. In water, you cannot talk. You cannot call out to someone. You cannot use words. Everything in the water world is about movement, about light, about shadow, about vibration. Fish have learned over millions of years to read all of these things perfectly. They watch movement like it is their language. When something moves near them, their whole body pays attention. Their eyes follow it. Their fins adjust. Their brain calculates. Is it food? Is it danger? Is it something new? This is the first reason fish follow your finger. Your finger moves. And movement, to a fish, means something important is happening. It is not that the fish is thinking, oh, that is my owner's finger. Not yet. Not at first. At first, the fish is just being a fish. It is doing what fish have always done. Watch the movement, follow the movement, understand what it means. This is called instinct, and it is deeply woven into every fish that has ever lived. But here is where it gets more interesting. Not every fish follows every movement the same way. A fish that has never seen a human finger before will react differently. It might swim away, it might freeze, it might just watch from a distance. But a fish that has seen your finger many times before, that fish behaves differently. That fish comes closer. That fish follows. That fish may even seem excited. Why? Because that fish has learned something. It has learned that your finger means something good is coming. Maybe food comes after the finger appears. Maybe the light changes. Maybe the water gets a little warmer because you are about to feed them. Fish are very good at connecting moments together. Moment 1, finger appears. Moment 2, food arrives. After this happens many times, the fish does not wait for moment 2 anymore. When moment 1 happens, the fish already knows what is coming. This is called association, and it is a very powerful part of animal psychology. Fish learn through association, just like dogs do, just like cats do, just like humans do. We all connect experiences together. We all learn from what happens around us, and fish are no different. Now let us think about something deeper. When your fish sees your finger and follows it, what is it actually feeling? Is it excitement? Is it curiosity? Is it trust? Scientists have studied fish emotions for many years, and what they have found is surprising. Fish do have emotional responses. They are not the same as human emotions. They are simpler, but they are real. When a fish sees something, it associates with good things. There is a real response in its brain. A chemical reaction, a feeling. It is not exactly joy the way you and I feel joy, but it is something like anticipation, something like interest, something like a pull toward what it knows. And that is beautiful, because it means when your fish follows your finger, it is not just reacting blindly, it is actually engaging with you on its own level, in its own way. There is another reason fish follow fingers, and this one is about something called curiosity. Yes, fish are curious creatures. In the wild, fish are always exploring, always investigating small things. A pebble that moved, a leaf that fell into the water, a shadow that appeared above them. Their brains are wired to notice new things and check them out. Your finger, especially if you move it slowly and gently, becomes one of those interesting things. It is not threatening. It is not moving too fast. It is not making loud vibrations. It is just there, moving, interesting, and the fish thinks, in its own quiet way, "What is that?" And it follows. This curiosity is part of what makes fish such fascinating animals. They are not passive. They are not just floating through life without noticing the world. They are watching. They are wondering. They are responding. And the moment you understand this, the moment you see your fish not as decoration, but as a living, feeling, curious creature, everything changes. You might be thinking right now, okay, but does my fish actually know me? Does it recognize my face? Does it know that I am the one who feeds it every day? And the answer to that question is going to surprise you. Because the truth about what fish can recognize, what they can remember, and what they actually feel when they see you, that is where this story gets truly extraordinary. Stay with me, because what comes next will completely change the way you look at the small, quiet creature swimming in that tank. So now you know the basics. Your finger moves, the fish notices, the fish follows. But we stopped at a very important question. Does your fish actually know you? Not just your finger, not just the movement, but you, your face, your presence, your energy near the tank. Let us go deeper into this now, because the answer is yes, and it is more beautiful than you think. Fish can recognize faces. This sounds impossible, but it is real. Scientists did a study with a fish called the archerfish. They showed this fish many different human faces on a screen. Then they trained the fish to pick one specific face, and the fish did it again and again with great accuracy. Even when the scientists changed the lighting, even when they changed the angle of the face, the fish still recognized the right one. This means fish have a visual memory that is much stronger than we ever believed. They can look at something, store it in their memory, and recognize it again later. So, when you walk up to your fish tank every morning, your fish is not just seeing a blurry shape, it is seeing you. It recognizes your outline, your movement, the way you walk toward the tank, the speed of your steps. All of this is information your fish is reading, and after weeks and months of seeing you every day, your fish starts to know you. It builds a picture of you in its memory. You become familiar, and familiar in the animal world means safe. Let us talk about safety for a moment. In the wild, fish are always in danger. Big fish eat small fish. Birds swoop down from above. Shadows can mean death. So fish are always alert, always watching for threats. But when something appears again and again and never causes harm, the fish brain slowly relaxes around it. It learns this thing is not dangerous. And when something is not dangerous and also brings good things like food, the brain goes one step further. It learns this thing is good. This is why your fish swims toward you instead of away from you. This is why it follows your finger without fear. Because you have become, in the eyes of your fish, a safe and good presence. You are not a threat. You are something it trusts. And trust, even in a fish, is a real thing. Now here is something that will make you feel very warm inside. Fish have a part of their brain that responds to positive experiences. When something good happens, their brain registers it. It creates a small feeling, a pull toward that good thing. Scientists call this a reward response. And your fish has this response when it sees you. When you come to the tank, when you feed it, when you gently tap the glass and it follows your finger, all of this creates small positive signals in the fish brain. Over time, these signals build up. Your presence becomes connected to positive feelings, and that is something truly special because it means the bond between you and your fish is not one-sided. You feel something when you watch your fish swim and follow your finger, and your fish feels something when it sees you. It is a quiet bond, a gentle one, but it is real. Let us now talk about something called the lateral line. This is a very special sense that fish have, and most people have never heard of it. Along the side of every fish, there is a row of tiny sensors. These sensors can feel vibrations in the water, even very tiny ones. When you tap the glass of the tank, the fish does not just see your finger, it also feels the vibration through the water. When you walk near the tank, the fish can feel the vibration of your footsteps through the floor, through the tank stand, through the water. Your fish literally feels your presence before it even sees you. Think about that for a moment. Before you even reach the tank, your fish may already know you are coming. It feels the small vibrations of your walk. And if it has learned that those vibrations mean you, then it is already responding, already swimming toward the front of the tank, already getting ready. This is why some fish owners say their fish seems to get excited before feeding time. Even before the owner opens the food container, even before any visual cue, the fish felt them coming, and it knew. This lateral line sense is like a sixth sense for fish. It connects them to everything happening around them in a way we cannot fully imagine, and it connects them to you. Now let us talk about memory. People always say fish have a 3-second memory. You have probably heard this many times, but this is completely false. Fish have memories that can last for months. Some studies show even longer. In one experiment, fish were trained to press a lever to get food. Then the lever was removed for months. When the lever was brought back, the fish remembered exactly what to do. Months later, they still remembered. Your fish remembers the routine of your home. It remembers when feeding time usually happens. It remembers what your presence looks like, what your movements feel like. It remembers you. Every day you spend with your fish, every time you feed it, every time you put your finger on the glass, you are adding to that memory. You are becoming a permanent part of your fish's world, and your fish is holding all of that quietly behind those calm, unblinking eyes. There is something else happening when a fish follows your finger, something that goes beyond instinct, beyond association, beyond memory. It is something that looks almost like play. Yes, play. Fish, especially intelligent species like bettas, cichlids, and goldfish, show behaviors that have no survival purpose. They chase bubbles, they push small objects around the tank, they investigate things out of pure curiosity. And some fish follow fingers, not just for food, not just from habit, but because it is engaging, because it is interesting, because something in their small brain finds it stimulating. When you move your finger and the fish follows, it is not always about what comes next. Sometimes it is about the moment itself, the movement, the connection, the interaction. And that means your fish, in its own quiet way, might actually enjoy this little game you play together. But now we need to ask something deeper. We know fish follow movement. We know they recognize you. We know they feel vibrations. We know they remember. We know they can feel something like excitement and curiosity. But what is actually happening inside their brain during all of this? What does the world look like through a fish's eyes? And why do some fish follow fingers eagerly while others seem completely uninterested? The answer to that lies in the hidden world of fish personality, because yes, fish have personalities. And what happens inside the mind of a shy fish versus a bold fish is something that will make you look at your own fish with completely new eyes. Fish have personalities. This is not a guess. This is not just a feeling pet owners have. This is real. Scientists have studied it, and they have found something remarkable. Individual fish of the same species, raised in the same water, fed the same food, living in the same tank, can have completely different personalities. One fish is bold. It swims to the front. It follows your finger immediately. It explores every corner of the tank. Another fish is shy. It hides behind plants. It watches from a distance. It takes longer to feel safe. One fish is curious about everything new in its environment. Another fish is cautious and waits before approaching anything unfamiliar. These differences are real, and they matter because they explain why your fish behaves the way it does, why it follows your finger the way it does, and how deep the connection between you and your fish can actually go. Let us talk about the bold fish first. A bold fish is one that is naturally more exploratory, more confident, more willing to approach new things. In the wild, bold fish are the ones that discover new food sources first. They are the ones that investigate changes in the environment. They are the ones that take risks. This boldness is part of their personality from birth. It is in their nature. When you put your finger on the glass, a bold fish responds quickly. It swims straight towards your finger. It follows without hesitation. It might even press close to the glass, as if trying to get as near to you as possible. This fish finds your finger interesting immediately, and it is not afraid of it. For a bold fish, your finger is an invitation, and it accepts that invitation eagerly. Now the shy fish. A shy fish is more cautious, more careful. It takes time to trust. When you first put your finger on the glass, a shy fish might swim to the back of the tank. It might hide. It might peek at your finger from behind a plant. But do not be discouraged if your fish does this, because a shy fish is not a cold fish. It is not an unfeeling fish. It is a careful fish. And if you are patient, if you come to the tank every day, if you move your finger slowly and gently, if you never bang the glass or make sudden movements, if you always bring food and good experiences, the shy fish will start to change. Slowly, it will come a little closer, then a little closer. Then one day, without you even noticing at first, it will be right there at the glass, following your finger, just like the bold fish. But its journey took longer, and that journey meant more, because that fish had to trust you. It had to decide you were safe. It had to choose to come to you. And that kind of trust, slowly earned, is one of the most moving things you can experience with a pet. Now here is something that connects fish behavior to human emotions in a way that feels almost poetic. Think about the people in your own life. Some people are bold. They open up quickly. They trust easily. They engage with you right away. Other people are shy. They take time. They watch from a distance. They need to feel safe before they let you in. But once a shy person trusts you, that trust is deep. That trust is solid. Fish work the same way. The bold fish that follows your finger on day one is wonderful, but the shy fish that finally swims to your finger after weeks of patience, that moment is something you never forget, because in that moment, that small creature looked at you and decided you were worth trusting. And that is not a small thing, that is everything. Let us now talk about something called environmental enrichment. In the wild, fish live in rich, complex environments. Rivers with rocks and plants and other creatures. Oceans with coral and caves and currents. Their brains are built to handle all of this stimulation. When fish live in a tank, sometimes their environment is very simple. Just water and a filter and maybe a plastic plant. And a fish in a simple environment becomes less engaged, less curious, less responsive. But when you add things to the tank, real plants, small caves, interesting objects, and also interact with your fish regularly, moving your finger on the glass, watching them, being present near them, something changes. The fish becomes more alive, more responsive, more curious. Your finger on the glass is actually a form of enrichment. It is stimulation. It is something for the fish brain to engage with. And a fish that has regular enrichment and interaction is a healthier fish, a happier fish, a fish that is more connected to you. There is a type of fish called the betta fish, and betta fish are one of the best examples of fish personality and human-fish bonding. Betta fish are known for following their owners around the tank. They will swim to whatever side of the tank you are standing on. They will watch you move across the room. They will follow your finger up and down the glass. Betta fish owners often describe their fish as dogs in fish form. And while that comparison makes some scientists uncomfortable, the behavior itself is undeniable. These fish are tracking their owners. They are engaging with them. They are aware of them in a way that goes beyond simple food association. Betta fish have been observed flaring their fins when they see their owner, a sign of alertness and engagement. They change their swimming patterns based on who is near the tank. They respond differently to strangers than to familiar people. They know the difference between a stranger and their person, between someone unfamiliar and the one who comes every day and moves that finger on the glass. And now we come to something that brings all of this together, something that explains not just why fish follow fingers, but what that small act actually means in the bigger picture of animal psychology. When any animal, fish, dog, cat, bird, reaches out toward a human, when it chooses connection over fear, when it follows instead of fleeing, something profound is happening. It is a moment of crossing worlds. Your world and the animal's world, so different, so separate, touching for just a second through a thin piece of glass. You on your side, your fish on its side, and in that moment of following, that fish is saying something without words. I see you, I know you, I am not afraid of you. And that moment, as small as it seems, is one of the most honest forms of connection in the natural world. But there is still one final layer to this story, one truth that ties everything together, one thing that will make you understand not just your fish, but every animal that has ever chosen to trust a human being. And that truth is waiting for you in the final part of this journey. We have come so far together in this story. We started with a simple moment, a finger on glass, a fish that followed, and slowly we discovered that this small moment holds so much inside it: instinct, memory, trust, personality, emotion, connection. But now we reach the deepest part of all, the part that explains everything. The part that makes this not just a story about fish, but a story about the invisible thread between all living things. Let us go back to that moment one more time. You are standing in front of the tank. The light in the room is soft. The water hums quietly from the filter, and your fish is there, on the other side of the glass, looking at you. You raise your finger, slowly, gently, and the fish moves toward it. What is happening in this moment is not just biology. It is not just chemistry. It is not just learned behavior. It is a relationship. Small, yes. Quiet, yes. Simple in some ways, but a relationship. And relationships, whether between humans or between humans and animals, are built on the same things: consistency, presence, safety, time. You showed up every day. You brought food. You were gentle. You were calm. You moved your finger on the glass not to test the fish, but because you were curious, because you cared, because you wanted to connect. And your fish responded to all of that. Not with words, not with a wagging tail or a purr, but with its body, with its movement, with the simple act of following. That is its language, and it chose to speak it to you. Now let us talk about something called attunement. Attunement is when two beings start to adjust to each other, to sync, to feel each other's presence in a way that goes beyond simple reaction. You see attunement between a mother and her baby. The baby cries, the mother responds, the mother hums, the baby calms. They are tuned to each other. You see it between old friends who finish each other's sentences, between musicians in a band who listen to each other while they play, between a dog and its owner who move through the house in perfect awareness of each other. And you see it, quietly, between a person and their fish. When you have had your fish for a long time, you start to notice things. You notice when it is more active than usual. You notice when it seems quieter. You notice when something in its movement feels different. And your fish, in its own way, notices things about you too. It notices when you move fast and rushed versus slow and calm. It notices when you come to the tank at the usual time versus much later. It notices when someone new approaches the glass. You have both learned each other. You are attuned. And that is a beautiful thing that most people never realize they have with their fish. There is one more thing we need to talk about, and it is the thing that makes this entire story feel whole. It is the question of why any of this matters. Why does it matter that your fish follows your finger? Why does it matter that it knows you, that it trusts you, that it feels something when you are near? It matters because of what it tells us about life itself. We live in a world where we often feel separate from nature. We live in houses, we look at screens, we move through concrete and traffic and noise, and sometimes we forget that we are part of something much larger, something ancient, something alive. But then we go to our fish tank, and a small, quiet creature swims toward our finger, and in that moment, the distance disappears. We are not separate from nature. We are inside it. We are connected to it. That fish came from millions of years of evolution. Its ancestors swam in rivers and oceans long before humans walked the earth. And yet here it is, in a little glass box in your home, following your finger, recognizing your face, feeling something when you are near. That is not ordinary. That is extraordinary. Let us also think about what this means for how we treat our fish. When you understand that your fish is a feeling, aware, remembering creature, everything changes. You think more carefully about its environment. You make sure the water is clean. You add places for it to explore. You make sure it is not lonely if it needs company. You stop thinking of it as decoration and start thinking of it as a living being that shares your home. And you spend more time at the glass, not just to feed it, but just to be there, just to put your finger up and watch it follow. Just to have that quiet, gentle moment of connection. Because now you know what that moment really is. It is your fish saying, "I know you are there." And it is you saying, "I see you too." Many fish owners describe a feeling of deep peace when they sit near their tank and watch their fish. Scientists have actually studied this. Time spent watching fish has been shown to lower heart rate, reduce stress, and calm the mind. But it is not just the water or the movement that does this. It is the presence of another living thing, something that is alive and aware and swimming through its small world with purpose and curiosity. Watching that reminds us of something we sometimes forget, that life is happening everywhere, in every form, in every size, and that life, in all its forms, is worth paying attention to. So the next time you walk up to your fish tank, take a moment before you do anything else. Just look. Look at your fish. Watch how it moves. Notice where it goes. See how it responds when it senses you are near. Then slowly, gently, put your finger on the glass and watch it come to you. Remember what you now know. That fish sees you. Not just a shape, not just movement, but you. The person who comes every day. The person who brings food and calm and gentle taps on the glass. The person it has learned to trust. And in its own quiet, wordless, beautiful way, it is glad you are there. The secret behind fish following your finger is not really a secret at all. It is something as old and simple as life itself. Connection, the reaching out from one world into another, the choosing of trust over fear, the following of something familiar, something safe, something known. Your fish follows your finger because you became part of its world. And if you pay attention, if you are patient and present and gentle, you will find that it has become part of yours too. And that is the most beautiful thing about having an animal in your life. No matter how different you are, no matter how different your worlds are, no matter how thin the glass between you, something reaches across, something connects. And that connection, quiet as a fish moving through water, is one of the most real and tender things in this world.